Hello everyone and welcome to a new video dedicated to our beloved Snoopy and the world of Peanuts. The November 17th, 1950 Peanut strip is a small masterpiece of visual storytelling that harnesses the power of the unspoken. Set on a staircase, it gives us a seemingly ordinary moment that, thanks to the talent of Schulz, is transformed into an ironic and, in some ways, revealing tale. The main characters are Shermie and Snoopy, both at an embryonic stage of their characterization. Shermie, who is one of the main characters at the time, finds himself involved in a situation that mixes the awkward with the everyday, a sudden fall. Snoopy, on the other hand, observes the incident with an attitude that may seem detached, but hints at the complexity of the character that we will come to know in the future. What makes this strip unique is the total absence of dialogue. Schulz relies completely on visual communication, demonstrating his talent for telling stories through gestures, expressions, and sound effects. It is this ability to capture the essence of a moment without using words that has made Peanuts one of the most beloved and influential works of world comics. In addition to the comic side, this strip offers a reflection on the simplicity of everyday life. A mundane gesture, such as sitting on a staircase, can turn into a memorable sequence thanks to Schulz's extraordinary powers of observation. Readers, even today, can identify with Shermie's clumsiness or appreciate Snoopy's seemingly disinterested curiosity. Let's go through it vignette by vignette. In the first vignette, the scene opens with Shermie and Snoopy sitting on the steps of a house. Shermie is immersed in reading a book with a calm, concentrated expression. Snoopy, on the other hand, is beside him, sitting composedly and facing outward. The arrangement of the two characters conveys a sense of tranquility and familiarity. It is a moment of shared yet individual peace. Shermie is absorbed in his activity, while Snoopy observes the world with a passive attitude. What is striking about this vignette is its simplicity. Schulz does not add superfluous details. There are no complex backgrounds, unnecessary objects, or decorations. The reader's attention is focused on the two characters and their position. This minimalism is one of the hallmarks of his style and helps create a sense of intimacy and immediacy. Snoopy, here, is still a dog in his most traditional form. His posture and behavior are realistic, far from the anthropomorphic features he would develop in later years. In the second vignette, the calm is suddenly interrupted by an unexpected movement. Shermie leans back because of Snoopy's displacement. It turns out that he was leaning against Snoopy, but without being fully aware of it. A question mark appears above his head, emphasizing his confusion or surprise. This simple but effective visual choice allows the reader to immediately grasp the change in the character's state of mind. Snoopy, meanwhile, seems completely indifferent to the incident. He gets up and walks away from the scene with a serene, almost disinterested attitude. This contrast between Shermie's action and Snoopy's passivity is particularly significant. While Shermie experiences a moment of vulnerability, Snoopy remains impassive, as if nothing has happened. This dynamic represents one of the elements that Schulz will frequently explore in Peanuts, the contrast between human emotions and Snoopy's quiet observation of the world. In the third vignette, Shermie's fall is consummated in a lively and eventful sequence. We see him rolling down the steps, accompanied by a series of onomatopoeic sound effects: dash, bump, clunk, bump. These sounds add dynamism to the scene and amplify the comedy of the moment. It is as if Schulz is inviting us to hear the sound of falling, making the action more vivid and engaging. The book Shermie was reading flies through the air, a detail that emphasizes the improvisation and unpredictability of the situation. The whole moment is constructed to bring a smile to the reader's face, but there is also a subtext of empathy. Anyone can identify with Shermie, recalling their own experience of clumsiness or loss of balance. Artistically, this vignette is a perfect example of how Schulz uses movement to tell a story. The kinetic lines and sound effects create a sense of continuity and fluidity, resulting in a sequence that, while static, appears incredibly dynamic. In the fourth vignette, the strip ends with a moment of stillness that contrasts with the frenetic action of the previous vignette. Shermie is lying on the ground, with an expression of annoyance that conveys both embarrassment and a certain resignation. Snoopy, meanwhile, has returned to sit on the steps and observes Shermie from above. Snoopy's expression is deliberately ambiguous. It is unclear whether he is judging Shermie, intrigued, or simply disinterested. This ambiguity is one of the most fascinating aspects of the character. Even in his early stages, Snoopy has a depth that sets him apart from other comic book dogs. Here, his silent observation creates a contrast that amplifies the sense of comedy and, at the same time, leaves room for the reader's interpretation. The ending is emblematic of Schulz's style. There is no sharp closure or explicit joke. The story ends naturally, leaving the reader with a smile and perhaps a reflection on Snoopy's role as an observer of the human world. This 1950 strip is a perfect example of Charles Schulz's ability to turn a mundane moment into a tale rich with humor and subtext. His exclusive use of visual language demonstrates his talent as a storyteller, able to capture the essence of a situation with just a few strokes of the pen. Shermie, a character who is almost forgotten today, here represents humanity in its fragility. A boy who falls down, gets up and goes on with his day. Snoopy, on the other hand, shows us an early hint of the complexity that will make him one of the Peanuts' most beloved characters. Even in its simplicity, this strip encapsulates the magic that has made the Peanuts a timeless cultural phenomenon. And what do you think? Let us know down in the comments.
If you enjoyed yourselves, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the little bell to stay updated, and see you next friends.